Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Today, I'm going to take you with as I do my morning chores. Today, I think it was, I don't know, maybe around 13 degrees or something this morning that I'd recorded this, but now the bottom has dropped out and it's like -20. So it was nice and balmy this day. So after I get ready, I head right up to the barn and visit Apple. Good morning, Apple. Oh, this gives you crazy eyes. Good morning, Apple. I know I'm a little late, aren't I? Yeah, I'm hungry. All right. As you can see, Apple is always super excited to get her morning hay, and she'd practically jump out of there if she could fit to get to the hay when I bring it to her box. During nighttime chores, I measure out her grain for the next day, and it has beet pulp in it, so then I have to soak it with a little water and vinegar, and that's what I'm doing here. Then I get right to cleaning her up with a soft brush. This day she was disgusting, of course. She does not usually sleep in a pile of poop, but she did that night, and so it takes me a little bit of scrubbing to get her all nice and cleaned off. I choose this route versus water because there is much less risk of mastitis, and I make sure to clean her up really good with iodine. You'll see it coming up. It really drastically reduces the chance of infection by not introducing water into the situation, which can harbor bacteria. There's a lot of reasons that we choose not to do that. And then I just close the gate. This mainly just prevents her from like pushing away from me, so I'm not like having to chase her down to milk her. And I bring my kit in with all my stuff for cleaning her up and everything. I keep it all together so I'm not having to search and grab and try to find what I need. And I spray her down with an iodine spray. I choose the spray bottle. It is, again, it's less contamination versus a dipper, and I just feel like it works great for me. So that's what I use, as a spray bottle. And I always milk with gloves. This is another way that I keep her safe from any bacteria that might be on my hands, and to keep our milk clean. And it's mainly to keep her safe because many people have staph A bacteria on their hands. They don't know it. We would never know, but it can easily be transmitted to the cow via milking. So I do that. I use gloves and I use paper towels to clean her up. I know it's not the best, but it works well. I don't use many at all, and it just saves me a lot of laundry. And at this point in my life, I am going to take this little step. We don't use paper towels anywhere else in our life, so I'm okay with that. After I'm done cleaning her up, I take the strip cup and I milk about 4 or 5 squirts from each teat into that cup. It's got a little like strainer on the top so I can check for any clumping, anything that's off, but that's where the bacteria would be in the first few squirts. So it's important to do that, get rid of that, and I give that to the cats. Then I let her rest while her milk comes down, and I go outside and give hay to the horses and the cattle, and then I will feed the pigs. Because we have the horses and the cattle together, we have to hand feed like this morning and night. Our horses would just sit at the feeder and eat all day if we threw a round bale out there. And we have one horse that would get fat on air, so it's just not an option for us. And it gives me a little extra exercise. That's what I tell myself. And this is Harriet and Petunia, our pigs. Petunia is a Kune and Harriet is a Kune cross. And we give them some grain in the wintertime. During the warmer months, we don't usually do that very much. They survive really well on grass and hay. And of course, like milk scraps or any scraps from the house, but they need a few extra calories in the winter, so they get some grain as well. And it wasn't until I did this video that I realized my overalls are getting a little worn, and I don't know if it's from sitting and milking or what, but it's giving me a good little chuckle. Winter farm clothes are not flattering at all, so I hope we're getting a laugh at it as well. Now that I have them all settled, I go ahead and get out the udder balm and put that on all of her teats so that it's a little more comfortable for her while I am milking. And it's especially important in the winter when it's, drier air. I don't want her to get chapped or anything like that. And then I have a 3-gallon stainless steel bucket that I kind of prop in between my legs, and my legs are kind of holding it, my ankles. It's kind of hard to describe how I hold it, but it's what's comfortable for me. I do need to have my husband, we got to move that board. We've been meaning to for like months and just haven't done it. But it looks like I'm staring at the board and I'm not. I'm able to see over it and under it, but it just from the angle, it looks like I'm just staring at a board. And yeah, I just go ahead and milk her. Today, it took me longer than normal. She was not very happy. I'm actually out here later than normal, but I had to in order for the sun to be up to record this. So she definitely can be a little cranky. I mean, not too bad. I mean, she's an amazing cow, and her crankiness I can handle. It's just mainly she'll be a little bit of a stinker letting down because she's like, you are late and I sat here hungry, and so I'm going to make you work for this milk. And that was what was happening today. When I get about a half a bucket or so, I will then give her her grain. It's just kind of her reward for being good, and then also incentive to stand a little bit longer and let me finish milking her. Now, the reason I don't just put the bucket right on the ground and milk right underneath her is because sometimes she'll shuffle her feet. She's not a kicker unless like she's really mad, and that does not really happen. But sometimes she'll do that and she'll move her leg or whatever, and it'll knock the bucket over, or she'll put her foot in the bucket. That's happened before. And this way, I'd set it on the ground so I could get a good shot here, but normally I don't, just because that's a lot of work to lose it all. The pigs love it, but I don't. That's another reason I always finish milking into a quart jar, just so nothing gets tipped over, and the bucket's getting a little heavy at this point. Some people choose to do an iodine dip after they're done milking. I use this Fight Back spray. It's awesome. It's a disinfectant, but it also helps close up the teat openings so no bacteria get in there if she were to lay down or anything like that. But I love that stuff. And then she's done. I let her out. She usually finishes up the hay in there, and then she'll go out to the feeder and eat for quite a bit in the morning, fill up on the hay that is out in the pasture. I gather everything up, put it on my barn box, and have the milk up out of the way, and then I head out and I take care of all the poultry chores here. And we have our chickens, ducks, and turkeys to take care of. Just like in the barn, we have an old broken freezer that holds all of our grain in here. It works fabulously. It keeps the mice out. It keeps it watertight so we don't have any spoilage of any of our grain. And I also check for eggs in the morning just to see if there's any so they don't freeze during the day. But I realized that my husband forgot to collect eggs the night before. The kids and I were gone, and he did chores and forgot to do that, so I have to gather eggs. And my beautiful curtains, I know you're totally jealous of them. They will be replaced with nicer curtains, but we were just experimenting. We had a hen that was eating eggs, and we read that putting curtains up would help, and it did. We don't have any issue anymore, so I'm going to be making new pretty curtains to replace these beautiful feed sack ones. Next, I need to go get some water for these beautiful animals. We love our homestead, but this is one thing we don't like, is we don't have water up by our barn. So in the summer we utilize hoses and a big water tank that we fill. But in the winter, we have to use buckets, at least for the animals up there. So it's just one extra thing that I get some more exercise in the winter. This just happened to be a beautiful horsehound frost morning, so I just had to show you some of that. So I haul this water up to all of the ducks, chickens, turkeys, and to the pigs. The horses and cows, we have a big tank that's close enough to the spigot that we're able to run a hose to. And now it's finally time for me to go inside. I take my bucket of milk and my box of equipment. I bring that in so it doesn't freeze. And I'll be filtering and cooling down the milk. I realized that I did not hit record on a whole clip here, so when I get inside, I immediately wash my hands and get out my strainer and my milk filter. I fold it so that it creates like a cone, which allows the milk to filter through really nice and quickly. I love using these half-gallon wide-mouth mason jars to store my milk. It's great when you go to remove cream, gives you a lot of room to work. And the glass doesn't harbor any bacteria or odors or discolor or anything like that. I wouldn't use anything else. Normally I get 2.5 gallons from Apple every day. Today I only got 2 gallons. For one, she was a little mad at me for being late. Two, my husband did the chores last night and he forgot to give her part of her feed, so that added up to a little bit less, but 2 gallons is wonderful and amazing, and I will take it. After I filter, I take out my lids. I have these nice one-piece lids that go on. I love them. They just screw right on. I put the jars into the freezer for an hour, and then after that, I will take them out and write on top with a erasable marker, and then I'll put the date on top. That way I don't get confused with what's in the fridge. And I wipe off, clean the counters, get my morning coffee, and then I'm ready for the day. I get kids breakfast, get them up, and get to homeschooling. When I was editing, I realized I forgot to record what I do next, or what I do after I, you know, put the milk away and all that stuff that I showed you, I actually go to my family cow management binder, which I created, and it is available for you to download. I will put the link in the description below, but here I have the milk production log for February, and so here's all the milk that I've gotten in February. This is actually the day that I recorded, so it's been a few days. It's taken me a while to get to editing this video, but I just wanted to show you that is another step that I take. And again, I will leave the link in the description below for this family cow printable. I am kind of just seeing what works best for us. Here I have like her individual records, her milk production log. I haven't quite filled everything out yet, but oh, I've got a bunch of these in here, obviously. Calving record, she hasn't calved yet this year, so there's nothing there. Health records, you know, show you what else is in here. Recipe log, so any new recipes that I do, I can put in here. With obviously using her milk. Actually, I just made ice cream the other day, so I am going to add that in there because it turned out great. This is any sales registers if I have to sell anything. This probably will stay in here for quite a while because I don't foresee selling anything, but again, that was just part of the pack that I wanted to include because for some people that is something they do. Breeding record, I have to actually record her breeding record in there from that. It was last year, but it was literally the end of the year, so I'll put it in here. Purchase records, again, I don't think we'll be buying any cow, but you know, who knows. Feed expense tracker, I have all the sheets. I just need to transfer them over here. Yeah, so I'm working on that. Just showing you what's in here. All the things expense tracker, so that is anything other than feed. You know, like for me that would be paper towels for cleaning her off, or iodine, or you know, whatever else I have to buy for her if I need to buy anything. And then these are our chore instructions that I can write out if we were to need to go anywhere and I needed someone to take care of her, and important phone numbers. And then I just have a notes section. So that's what that looks like. I also have a hog management binder and a laying hen management binder finished. I'm working on a goat one, a horse one, and then other poultry. I'm just trying to run the whole gamut, even though we don't have goats, but I figured I will try to do it so that all of my viewers can use them. So again, I will leave the link in the description below to my farm stand blog store, and you can check them out if you would like to. All right, well, thank you for watching this video of me doing my chores, and I will see you next time. Bye.